Welcome to today's practice with Yoga with Dora. Today we're going to practice a Yin Yoga sequence for the digestion. And Yin Yoga, if you haven't practiced Yin Yoga before, we hold the postures a little bit longer and we go into a really, really deep layer in the body. And very relaxing, very balancing in the autumn seasons, in the evenings, when it's all about calming down, slowing down, bringing the energy inwards. Okay? If you can, please grab, sorry, I just have some strange noises happening. If you can, please grab one or two blocks or pillows or blankets. Okay? Make your way into the mat and then we start the practice. You can start in a cross-legged seated position if that is comfortable for you. If that is not comfortable, I always recommend to start in a reclined position with the legs bent, feet parallel, shimmying the shoulders out. You can put a block or blanket underneath the head and just relax. So make your decision if you're going to start in the reclined position or the seated position. Let's arrive to the mat, whichever position you have chosen. Take a couple of little movements to get comfortable in your posture. Relax the shoulders, chin slightly tucked in. And allow yourself to come into this alignment that the head, the shoulders and the hips are in one line. So try to stack them on top of each other. Relax the face, relax the shoulders. If you're laying on the floor, just tuck the tailbone under a little bit. Make sure your chin is tucked in, feeling the whole of the spine relaxing on the mat. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes and just take a moment to scan the body. What did you bring to the mat today? Digestion is affected with a lot of things, what we eat, of course, how we sleep, our stress levels, the weather outside. So just take a moment. What did you bring to the mat? Observe. Noticing any physical sensations that come to your awareness now. Now we're going to move to connecting to the breath. We bring the left palm to the heart center, right palm to the navel, soften the shoulders, and just allow the breath to flow freely. No need to control it. Just nice, deep breath. Now maybe you start to notice the hands moving with the breath. That on the exhalation, you gently relax, release, the hands are coming closer to you. And on the inhalation, you're allowing that expansion, that filling up. Just tune into your breath. When we focus on the breath, we don't even have to force it, but we start to just naturally slow and deep, slower the breath and deepen the breath. And now move the right hand over the left, both hands resting on the chest. Make your intention for today's class. Our class theme is connecting to the digestive fire. And then relax the hands. First, we're going to activate a little bit the navel. So we're just going to breathe with the exhalation, pumping the navel. So like, show it from the side as well. And you can pump it a little bit or a big bit. If you're in the reclined position, it would be easier if you sit up and you just pump it. You can do it slow, or you can do it fast. Just keep going. Feel for a couple of rounds this massaging of the abdominal region, the whole area, just giving a little bit of a boost there. Really good for activating the stomach muscles. I'm sorry if you hear the fireworks. It was bonfire night last night, but some people maybe didn't get the memo that it's finished. So fireworks are still going. So feel that the fireworks are going on in your belly. Keep pulling that belly in, activating, massaging the navel with your breath. 2 more rounds. And relax. And then come down onto your back. Have your blocks or blankets or whatever you can use close by. Shimmy the shoulders out, bend the knees, feet parallel, knees parallel, and just rest the hands again onto the belly. Close your eyes, tuck the chin in, and take another moment, 3 deep breaths, just really connecting to that rising and falling in the belly. Last one, feel up the breath. Exhale, navel to the spine, relax and release. And coming to the first posture, inhale, tuck the tailbone under, and just vertebra by vertebra, slowly lift the hips and put one blanket, block, or pillow underneath. Come back, let the sacrum rest on the block. See how you're feeling. If you're okay, you can go lift the hip again and go a little bit higher. Okay, you can adjust this anytime. Remember, in yoga, our motto is that effortless effort. So feel that there is something happening, but you can relax into it. So no forcing it. Your lower back softly rolls off, nice and comfy. From here, we're going to extend that right leg out to the front. Feel that gentle stretch in the front of the right thigh, in the abdominal region. See how this feels with your back. You may make the decision to take one of the blocks out. If this feels really comfy, you can extend the left leg as well. Shimmy a little bit, get comfortable here. Make sure that there's no pressure whatsoever in the lower back. Remember, depending on how low or high you are, you can just come into your perfect pose. Now, if you're feeling the stretch here, nice and easy, and you want to go a little bit deeper, then you can extend the arms above your head, either extending them or interlacing at opposite elbows. And now I'm going to put the timer on for 2 minutes. In Yin Yoga, we hold the postures from anywhere to 2 to 5 minutes, as this is going to be a slower practice. We're going to hold this pose for 2 minutes. And just the first minute is always, or in a shorter hold, maybe the first 30 seconds, is all about getting comfy in the pose, making any kind of adjustments. So I really want you to feel into that beautiful stretch in the front body, all the way, the abdominal region. Why do we want to dedicate a whole class to digestion? Because digestion is not only the physical digestion, also, although you do know that if you suffer with digestion, it can be quite a big burden in our everyday life. But when we talk about digestion, we talk about food, emotions, thoughts, everything. So a healthy digestion doesn't just mean that we can eat anything we want and we digest it properly. It means that we can digest the experiences, I can never say that word, experiences that happen to us, the thoughts, the emotions. So just relax in here. Feel that beautiful space in the front, in the abdominal region, in the armpits, in the legs. Relax into it. Breathe. Very slowly start to release the arms back and bend one leg, then the other. If you feel like staying here longer, you can always just pause when you do it from a video and just stay a little bit longer. But now we're just going to tuck the tailbone under, lift the hip, take one block out, coming down to one, and then lifting the hip again, taking the other block down and coming down all the way to the floor. Notice how this space feels. And then bring the legs to your chest. We're going to come into the happy baby pose. If you want, you can rock a little bit, holding the knees, rock from side to side, releasing the lower back. Happy baby, bending the legs and the soles of the feet are coming towards the ceiling. So you have the variation when you can just hold the thighs and knee creases wherever you can reach it. Actually, if you feel that it would be nicer to put a block or a blanket underneath your head, you're more than welcome, so you don't feel like you're pulling. And then you can either grab the inner or the outer edges of the foot. And we're going to work with opening that knees, and we're going to work with that knees towards the armpits. So if you have the legs here, if you have the arms here, work with the knees towards the armpits. And I'm hoping, let's start the timer, and I'm hoping that you're already feeling that with each breath you're massaging the whole of the abdominal region, pelvic region. Try to work with your sacrum down, back to the floor. So if you feel that you lift it up, work down with your sacrum. Relax the shoulders and just breathe. Notice that breath by breath, you're massaging the abdominal regions, the pelvis. So today's practice, we're going to alternate between putting a little bit of pressure on the navel, like we did with the breath of fire or the pumping of the belly, and then we elongate it. So balancing between activating that fire, massaging it, and then creating space. Nice deep breath. Just make sure when you practice this, anything to do with when we work with the navel, with digestion, that you don't have a big meal before practice. So if you did have, just don't pull it down so much so you can keep it a little bit further. If you have a belt, you can have the belt and holding on to the belts. Use those props. Breathe. And the biggest prop is our breath. Nice deep breath. And slowly prepare to bring the legs together and just relax the legs down. Rest the hands on the belly until I show you the next posture. So just the next posture is going to be Malasana. Either you can come into the squatting position, rolling the shoulders away from the ears and just letting the head relax in yin pose. If you want to, you can come into the prayer hands and look up. We're only staying here for 2 minutes, so if that's comfortable for you, you're more than welcome. If this is too much or your heels lift off, then bring the blocks underneath the heels, so you can have the blocks on the heels. You can also, if this is too much for the knees, you can build a little tower, whatever blocks you have. You can put the blanket on top. So just make sure that it's stable. So you can come up, then have the knees in the 90 degrees. So you don't want to put that pressure on the knees. And you just lean a little bit forward with straight spine. So you have the same as we had with the happy baby. You have that pressure with each breath, okay? So you can be as high as you can. If you want a more active pose, you can even come into the goddess. The goddess squat, that you're nice and high and you're just bending the knees and coming down, okay? So whichever variation you're going for. I'm just showing it sideways because it's not the nicest look from the front. So come into whichever variation you want to. Relax into your malasana. Soften into the pose. And just find the pose that feels right for you. The knees don't feel they are uncomfortable. You can keep your spine straight. And with each breath, you're feeling that massage, that gentle pressure on the belly, all of the pelvic region. Squatting, malasana is one of the best postures for us Westerners because we spend a lot of time sitting on chairs, sofas. It's a really, really good pose for the digestion. So just relax into it. See how it feels. Nice deep breath. Use the breath to massage the internal organs. Feel that gentle pressure. And prepare to come out. You can relax the hands behind. Straighten the legs in front of you. Just stretch the legs out. Maybe a little massage of the legs. In Yin Yoga, we have something called the rebound position in between the postures. We are spending less time now in the posture, so if any pose you like and you want to spend a little bit more time in, you're more than welcome. And in between the postures, just try to take a little breather and just check in how you're feeling. Okay? As you're resting, I'm going to show you the next pose. We're going to come for a lunge. If you want to give a little bit of extra padding for your knees, you can put a blanket or a block or anything underneath that feels comfortable for you. Let me come a little bit further back. And we're going to bring the right leg forward. Make sure that you have the right leg, the 90 degrees in the leg. So you don't want to have the knee further forward. But also make sure that with your back leg, your hip is not right on top of that left knee, but you're coming forward. So the feeling we're going for, 90 degrees here, activation in the quads, and in the front of the left thigh, you feel that lovely, lovely stretch. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen. You can relax the head. Again, you can have props. So you can have blocks, underneath the hands, either side, higher. Just go in with the variation that feels right. So take your time, come into the pose. Find your lounge position. Make sure that there is no weight on that left knee, the back knee. Feel that length in the front of the left thigh. Massaging on the right side. Relax into it. We're going to have 1 minute in our lounge. And then we're going to move into a twisted one. So keeping the left hand on the floor, on the block, bringing the right hand to the thigh and twisting to the right, letting that left hip come down to the floor as much as you can. Just relaxing here. Looking over that right elbow, softening here. Breathing deeply. Just relax into it. Gentle twist. And then slowly come back to the center. Transfer the weight to that back leg. Maybe come down into a child's pose, relaxing down, or just sitting on your heel, whatever would feel comfortable. Take a little breather before we go to the other side. So you can rest in child's pose. You can come into mini shavasana as well, whatever would feel comfortable. I'm going to turn around so you can, I'm not twisting away on the other side either. Whenever you're ready, take your time, come into your lounge with the left leg forward. Relaxing the shoulder, lengthening, coming into nice deep stretch, left leg 90 degrees. Feel that stretch in the right leg. Relax into it. And then preparing to move into the twist, keeping the right leg on the floor or the block. Left hand comes on the thigh, letting that right hip drop down a little bit and twisting towards the left leg. Relaxing the shoulder, opening the chest, breathing deeply. slowly coming back to the center, guiding your weight towards the back leg, rebending the left leg, either coming into sitting onto the heels or child's pose, whatever you would feel comfortable in between the postures before we go into the next pose. And as you're resting, I explain the next one. So but this is the one where we would need a blanket or block or something. And we're going to roll the blanket up. And we're going to lay down on our belly with the blanket right underneath the navel. The legs can be together or even wider apart. Make sure that the blanket is right underneath the navel and you can feel it, but it's not painful. And we're going to come into the swings position with the hands 90 degrees on the elbows, right underneath the shoulders. So if you have the arms too wide, you're going to collapse. If you have them right underneath the shoulders, then it's effortless. Make sure your lower back is comfortable. You can wiggle a little bit of room and just, you can look ahead, throat nice and open, or you can turn the head, relax the head down. And we're just going to do deep belly breathing. And with each breath, feel that you're pressing into that blanket, massaging the navel. So make sure the blanket is big enough that you feel that as you inhale and you press, the navel expands. You press into this blanket. It's also a very good way to learn belly breathing. When you allow the breath to be full. With each breath, you fill up the lungs, you let the diaphragm move down, and you're expanding in the abdominals as well. And just feel like the center of the navel, that you're igniting that fire. Healthy digestion is the first parameter of health. If we don't have the right amount of fire, then no matter how healthy food we are eating, we can't really cook the food. And then slowly take the blanket away. Just come down onto the belly, relax. You can turn the head from one side. You can rock the hips from side to side. And just taking a mini break here, a belly shavasana. Before we go on to our backs, we spoke so much about digestion. So we're going to go bananas now. Have a little bit of a banana. Turning over to our back. Make sure you have enough space to stretch the legs out. So we're going to stretch the legs out and the arms. If it's too much for the arms, you can just interlace at the elbows. We're going to walk the feet all the way to the left corner of the mat. And as you walk the feet to the left corner, make sure that the hips stay nice and stable. So both hips stay down. If you want to, you can cross the right leg over that left. But if it's too much, you can always just relax it back. Once you have the stability in the legs, walk the upper body to the left upper corner. You create a nice little banana shape. So either grabbing on that right elbow or the right wrist. Remember that there is a little bit of effort there, but you can just relax in there. And if I could set the timer, it would be even better. Keep the shoulders down, keep the hips down. And breathe into that beautiful place all the way from the right fingertips to the right toe tips. Feel that stretch in the side body, making space in the waistline, outer legs, armpits. Breathe into that stretch. All the way through the right side of the body. Notice that space. Breathe into that space. Yeah, slowly start to wake. Make your way back with the arms and the legs. See if in the middle you want to bring the knees in, give yourself a cuddle, or you want to come into a big stretch. Just have a little bit of a reset, and then we're going to go to the other side. You probably feel, you put the legs down, you probably feel the difference between one side to the other. Extending the legs and the arms, walking into the right bottom corner of the mat with the feet, maybe crossing that left leg over the right, but make sure that the hip stays down. And then walking to the right upper corner with the arms either grabbing onto that left wrist or the left elbow. Keep both shoulder blades down, both shoulders down. Maybe close your eyes and just breathe all the way from the left fingertips to the left toe tips. Visualize that beautiful flow in the left side of the body, creating that space, creating that freedom, creating that flow. Use your breath. Keep relaxing into the pose, noticing that there is an effort. There's a deep stretch in the left side of the body, but at the same time your breath is effortless. And I don't know if you can hear it, but my tummy started to gurgle. We always say that it's slowly start to come back, and we always say that it's music to a yoga teacher's ears when we hear the tummy's gurgling, because that means that the digestion is started to activate. So bring the knees in, rock from side to side, give yourself a cuddle, wind releasing pose. Again, massaging the internal organs, and we're just going to go into a short Shavasana. If you would like to stay longer, just switch off the recording and just stay in there. Extend the legs. If your lower back is sensitive, you can put blocks or blankets underneath. If you feel a little bit chilly, cover yourself. I'm trying not to cover the microphone, or put a block underneath the head. Bring the legs about hip distance apart. Make any movements to feel comfortable. Arms at a comfortable distance. Palms facing upward. Chin tucked in. Just wiggle around a little bit until to find that point where you can just come into your relaxation, and just give the intention that you're going to stay still for a couple of minutes, allowing the movement to happen on the inside. Eyes softly closed, breath nice and relaxed. You don't need to control it anymore. I'm just going to put a block underneath the head so the microphone is closer. And once you found that point, once you found the stillness, bring your awareness to the navel. And just visualize the breath pulsating on the navel. With each exhalation, the navel comes towards the spine. Sort of squeeze out, release anything from there. And then the inhalation, you're allowing that expansion. Now just visualize at the center of a navel a little light of fire, gentle flame. Allow your connection to that fire, feel the warmth of it, the light of it, and set that little flame to the optimal, balanced fire for you. It's strong enough to warm you, to cook, to transform, to help with the digestion. But it's not too strong to sort of burn too much. So just visualize that flame, the perfect height, perfect light, pulsating in your navel. And just release it and allow yourself to rest for a couple of moments. Just being.
slowly start to bring the awareness back to the physical body. And if you would like to come out of the relaxation, start to bring movement into the fingers and the toes, ankles and the wrists. Bending the knees, feet flat on the floor and turning to your side so you support yourself fully to one side. Just take a moment, bringing the knees in line with the hips, resting. Remember, Shavasana, deep relaxation, is the essence of our practice. So if you have time, stay there a little bit longer. Whenever you're ready, with the help of the hand and the elbow, make your way back into a seated position. Cross-legged or legs straight out, whatever feels comfortable for you. Lotus, full lotus, whatever your body allows. And then relax the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Close your eyes and just take a moment to reflect on your practice. Sensations in the physical body, depths of your breath, activity in the mind. And then bring the palms together, thumbs into the heart center, igniting the fire in the heart. Then bow your head to your heart. Rub the palms together, create that heat. Let the hands rest, the head rest in the palms. Blink the eyes open and then with the gentle massage, arrive back. Hope you enjoy that practice. So remember, you can hold the postures longer, just use a little timer. I know it's a little bit of a hassle to go with the timer, but the longer we can stay in the postures, the more we can go into the deepest layers. Thank you. Namaste. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any wishes, what to do. Again, I think I'm going to try to do back to not once a week, but back to at least once a month, if all goes well. Life has been a little bit busy lately. There was a lot for me to digest, but it's good to be back. Bye. Let me see if I